Lecho hashalom, shalom rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. Shalom rav Yisrael Amcha, tasim leolam. B'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol leil ubechol shah bishlomecha. Shalom Rab Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rab Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Ki ata hu melech adon lecho hashalom. Ata hu melech adon.
Take a page number and roll the fingers. Okay. We're on page 13B. We welcome Shabbat with Shalom Aleichem. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharetz, Malachei Malachei Amnavim Kadosh Baruch Olam Malachei Hashem, Malachei Malachei Hamlah, Hakadosh Baruch. Say them Nisham, say Hashem, Malachei. Turn in our prayer book to the Lunar Pananada 9 Ariya Litsui Shenu. As come, let us sing to the Lord on page 20. אשר נשבעתי בידי, אם יבואו אל מנוחתי. On page 26, Shir Adonai Shir Chadash, we sing a new song to God. Shir Adonai, Shir Adonai, Shir Shir Chadash, Shir Shir Chadash, Shir Adonai, Try it again. Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru Shir Chadash, Shiru L'Adam Shiru L'Adam. Let the heavens be glad, let the earth rejoice, and all it contains, and roar and praise. Yismechu Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim. Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim. Yismechu Hashamayim. V'tagem. Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Yirachayam, 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 Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, Hashamayim, Yismechu Hashamayim, on the bottom of 28, or Zaru ala Tzadik, let's see. I did some for the righteous in the upper, joy, the upper and upper. We thank you, O God, and give thanks to your name. Or Zaru ala la 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 la. La 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 la. Or Zorua la 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 la. Or Zorua la. See who Israel New one for you guys, right? Lori, I don't think you've heard that one. It's a good one, right? It's a good one, all right. from a little young man, yes. Conversation. I agree. I miss those too. We'll continue with our service on page 32. At the end of the song, Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, Yishtaka L'Hargosh. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, Yishtaka L'Hargosh. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, Yishtaka L'Hargosh. He Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. He Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. On page 36, Psalm 29. He's born in David, Avul Adonai Genelim, Avul Adonai Gavot Baoz, Avul Adonai Kevod Shimo, Yishkach Adonai Beharat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Adonai, Et Rakavod Him, Adonai Sover alazim, vaishav eladon, vetzarek avalon, vayarkidek kemovegen, lebanon vesirion, Kol Adonai, Kotzev Lamutesh, Kol Adonai, Yachil Adonai, Ivar Kadesh, Kol Adonai, Kol Vayavot, Vayechesov Ye'arot, Uvehekaloch Kulot Vekavot, Kulot Vekavot, Adonai melech leolam, Adonai hod le'avoyitei, Adonai yorem et avot.
It's a message from God.
We have a technical issue. Not a wardrobe malfunction, but a
That's next.
that's next, right? That's a stand malfunction. Yeah.
Can we get a few more people?
Yeah, can we have
Going to convene.
my roadies? Is that what you call the guys in the band, the roadies, right? Okay. Oh, thank you, Rabbi.
But if it goes down again.
That's right, right. If it goes down again, it's like, all right, you never know. What an intro to Lachato D as we welcome the Sabbath ride. That that happened at a wedding. Be another thing, right? Okay. All right, Lachato D on page 40. Okay. There. Lekhandoti, Likana, Benik Shabanikabela, Lekhandoti, Likana, Benik Shabanikabela, Lekhandoti, Likana, Benik Shabanikabela. Shamor is a poor baby who had Ishmian well Adonai Shimmer Shake Tiferet Beneath Ilan Nikala Benik Shabbat Nikala Benik Shabbat Nikala Shabbat lechubenecha, ki lekol averacha, verosh mi nesimcha. So ma'aseh v'machshavat tegilan lechadoti, likvat kala, v'nei shabbat mikabela, lechadoti, likvat kala, v'nei shabbat mikabela. Dashmelech mimenuha, umitzehim mitova pekah, Ramna shemet mekama, Uya kamo ulanayim nanetat lepaloti, Nikvat kama, Nikvat shama nikavela, Nikvaloti, Nikvat kala, Nikvat shama nikavela. Ina'arive aparhuni, Nishimite tikvatechami, Ayabenisha, Ehalaki, Kahabana, Nahashime, Alalekadoti, Nikradikakala, Benik Shama Nikavela, Ehalekadoti, Nikradikakala, Benik Shama Nikavela. 42. It's already, Kiva ore, uri, shita beri, Evo oradonai, Andoti, Ikrakana, Benik Shabbatikana, Lekhandoti, Ikrakana, Benik Shabbatikana. Lekhandoti, Ikrakana, Benik Shabbatikana, Lekhandoti, Ikrakana, Tikoshi, lo, Tikoshi, Velotica, Tishapi, Umate, Biba, Yepesu, Ani, Vipeni, Meta, Iratila, Nekhanoti, Nirakam, She said, no, I so Satan. We'll continue on page 44. The song from Shabbat, Mizmor Shir, Yom HaShabbat. Mizmor Shir, Yom HaShabbat. Tov levoto Adonai, Lesamer Leshima, Yom Lesamer Leshima, Le'agir b'boker b'stecha, Le'emunah Mizmor Shir Yom HaShabbat. Tov levoto Adonai, Lesamer Leshima, Yom Lesamer Leshima. At the bottom of that song, Tzadika Taman Yifrach, Eretz Balanon, is the bottom of page 44. Tzadika Taman Yifrach, Eretz Balanon, Yizke Shetumi, Be'ebit Adonai, Be'atzrot Eloheinu Yavriu. Oh, Yenevu B'Seba, Tisheni Meranani, Behagir, Yashar Adonai, Tzuri V'lo Amata, Bo Yalanai, 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 Page 46. Adonai, Manu Malach, Lavesh, Lavesh, Zitazar, Atikot, Benaret, lines from the bottom. Mikolo, Main Ramim, Adivim, Mish, the raging waves of the sea. Rivers rise and raise their voice. We hear that mighty Nikolod Mai Rabbi And we write from the book, page 52. Please be seated. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher nidbar harim barakim v'chokma v'notech shemarim v'namashmi itzkom v'chlim ezmonim v'smedera v'karim v'shtera v'nishmaoteihem v'akera v'kirsom v'oreyom b'layla v'layla bo mipnei choshech v'nei shef v'nei v'mavino v'nei v'layla v'mavdir b'yom v'nei layla Adonai Tzvaot Shemo Elchai V'Kayam Tamidim Lo Parei Le'olam V'Vayed Baruch Atah Adonai Amen. We turn in our prayer books, we jump ahead to 218 in our prayer book. Same service, except for the English readings in between. Ahavat Olam, as we recite the prayer, bracha, blessing before Shema. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Torah, mitzvot, ukim mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Okay, Adonai Eloheinu, Esocheinu v'kumeinu, Nasiach b'chukena, v'nismach b'yorei Toratecha, u'b'mitzvotecha, le'olam va'ed. Ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu, ve'orech yameinu. Your Father, Simmeleo, Lamina, Maruchatanai, Ohema, Israel, Shema, Israel, Adonai. Please join me. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום לבבך ושינתם לבניך ודיברת בשיבתך בביתך ולכתך בגדר ושופך ובומך ושתם לאור בידיך והיו לתותרו ביניך, מזוזות ביתך, עתיד לכם מן השמיים על הארץ, ויהיו עליהם השנים. Adonai on page 226. אנחנו ישראל המאבים עליו את גזרי הסוס ורוביהם וצונאיהם יתומות תתברך ורבו בדגורתו שיגרו ברובי לשמור מלכותו ורצון יתנו עליהם ושקט ונשמע לך נשירה בשמחה רבה ואמרו להם ויבואו האלים אדוני ויבואו אדוני הקודש לא רצינו לא סייפנו אחותך רבו בניך וכגם בני משה זיני אנו ויאמנו אדוני ונאמר יפתח אדוני יעקב וגאלו יחזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גם ישראל. Return to page 228, Hashkibenu, as we ask God to protect us, to build a shelter around us of peace. Hashkibenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Ve'amitenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Hashkibenu Adonai Eloheinu Lishalom Ve'amitenu Malkeinu L'chaim. Ushmor Tzedek Uvoleinu Elohim Shalom Me'atzavenu Hashkibenu Eloheinu Lishalom Ve'amitenu Malkeinu. Rosalinu sukat shalom lecha baruch atah Adonai Aporei sukat shalom aleinu kol avo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim. Turn to page 230, is Shalom. Please rise. Vishamru B'nai Israel Lasot et Hashavat Nedotam Beritzolam. Vishamru B'nai Israel Lasot et Hashavat Nedotam Beritzolam. They knew B'nai Israel, Vishamru B'nai Israel לעשות את השבת לדורות הבאים עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני, עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורות הבאים עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת. לעשות את השבת לדורות הבאים עולם. 232. יתגדע שמי רבה, ועמדי ברכיבותי, ועמדי מהותי, וחיי כל יום, וחייתם כל בית ישראל, אגלה, ובזמן קריב, ויאמרו אמן, יהי שמירה ומבורך, יתברך וישתבח, יתברך וישתבח ויתנשא ויתעלה, שמרים קודשה, והנה מקום מבטא ושירתה, תושבעתה ונחמתה, לאמירה ואהבה, ויאמרו We continue with the silent Amidah, page 234, 235. Shalom, I Shalom, וטוב בעיניך את עם ישראל וכל שלום ישראל Shalom Al Israel Page 244. ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם והפלגים היו משפיעים בלהט שרצה היו משפיעים מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה ויברך אלוהים את המשפיעים ויברך כי ראש אני אומרתו כי ראש קומלתו אשר אלוהים אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו אלוהי אברהם אלוהי יצחק אלוהי יעקב האל הגדול הגיבור והנורא אל עליון לכל שמיים בארץ מנהיג אבות ידברו וחיים איתי אמרו האל הגדול שאין כמוהו המניח לעמו ביום שבת קודשו כי בם רצה להניח לכם כי בם רצה להניח לכם לפניו נבוא ביראת חי ונודה לשמור את כל יום תמיד בין הברכות אל החודות אדון השלום וקדש השבת בורא שלי ומניח קדושה ועמק שני יוני זכר למעשה Page 240. אלוהים ליהודים רציננו, חטאינו, פרשינו, ויענו וישב מקדשי שמך, ברוך אתה אדוני, מקדש השבת. קדיש שלם, page 250. Ikala vikara shembe rava, Mali Krakute, Vikmakute, Vivona Vivofon, Haidho Israel, Ramazman Kari, Meru, Amen, Yehesh Rava Bevora, they are not one of the Israel. Itmarabishakafima Vijamanase, Idinavita Nevitala, Shiveri Kurisha, the Elamiko Katamishivrata, Chikata, and Evana, Bemeru, Ametia, Masa of the Lord of Israel, Kadama Bohonishmaya, Bemeru, Amen, Hishnamara Mishmaya, Kaima Dinavia Israel, Bemeru, Amen. Say shalom Ibrahim, say shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Israel, Ve'ru, Amen. Yas shalom, shalom. Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Israel, Yas shalom, Shalom, Shalom Aleinu, Ve'akol Israel, Ve'meru.
Now, before we do Kiddush, just a couple of questions. for 10 mitzvah points and a no-week, no expenses paid vacation in Idaho. In which book of the Tanakh, in which book of the Bible, do we see the origins of anti-Semitism? Anyone have an idea? Not Exodus. Good guess. Although the first letter is the same. It's the book of Esther. When Haman goes to the king, King Ahasuerus, and says to the king he wants to get rid of the Jews and Mordecai, he says, quote, there is a certain people, which by the way was the name of a book, I think in the 1980s, about the Jews, but there is a certain people that don't listen to the king's decrees. And it doesn't really matter to the king whether they live or not. Now, Haman is considered to be one of the descendants of Amalek. And if you've heard the name Amalek before, you know that Amalek is the arch enemy of Israel, the enemy that cannot be placated, the enemy that only wants one thing, and that's the destruction of the Jews. So the origins of anti-Semitism are actually found in the Bible itself because Haman, who is from Amalek, turns to the king.
Sorry, I had to do it. I had to
Haman. You just do it for Haman, though, right?
Right. No other fun sounds for the other characters.
No. Well, there are fun sounds for the other characters, by the way, but we won't get into that until
Yeah. Okay.
So he literally sets us up for the rest of history. There are traditionally three different phases, or three different areas, or three different categories that created the anti-Semitism that we see today. And obviously I'm talking about this because there are several incidents of graffiti in our area in schools. So the first is what happens in the book of Esther, which sets everything up, that the Jews are different. But more importantly, that the Jews politically do not listen to what the king necessarily says, which, by the way, is true. When you think about it, some of the worst canors in our history have had a kernel of truth in them, because we didn't work on Shabbos, even though people did work on Shabbos. We didn't do things that were exempted from things because of our religious tradition. The second is, I think everyone recognizes, is the beginnings of Christianity. Most people don't realize there was a schism right before the destruction of the Second Temple between the early Christian movements. I know, I was there. I was in the room where it happened, so to speak. James, Jesus' brother, was the Bishop of Jerusalem. And you may have heard of this guy named Paul, was not a disciple, but he was a disciple of Jesus. And they had a falling out because, according to James, you could not become a Christian unless you were Jewish. And according to Paul, he did not want Judaism to interfere with conversion to Catholicism, to Christianity. So they reached an agreement that James would be in charge of Jerusalem and its area, and Paul could have the rest of the world. Not thinking no one thought that Paul would be as successful as he was. So Paul goes out to the world and he starts converting the heathens into Christianity. The problem is, you have the narrative in what we call the Christian Bible, the New Testament, which has the Romans killing Jesus. The heathens killed Jesus. So Paul has a problem, because how do you convert people when you just accuse them of killing your Savior? So Paul theologically turns it against the Jews, and by the 2nd century, it's Christian dogma that the Jews actually facilitated the death of Jesus. That, of course, brings Christianity into the mainstream of anti-Semitism, but it wasn't until about 800 years later, with the First Crusades, that the economic reason for anti-Semitism took the forefront, and that was that part of the reason for the Crusades is that the kings wanted to get rid of an awful lot of rabble. So they sent them on a crusade, and on the way, they killed everyone they met. It didn't matter if they were Christians or if they were Jews, they just killed everyone, and they looted. So if you add those three different points on the line, and obviously this is a very, this is a gross approximation as opposed to anything in fine detail. You add those three up and you get a history of anti-Semitism that is almost impossible to expunge because it comes from three different areas. It comes from the Bible itself, and it comes from the theology of Christianity, and then it comes from the economics that caused the Jews to be looted and killed on the Crusaders' way to the Holy Land. So we come to today, and our response as a Jewish community to anti-Semitic acts is not so easy, because one of the things we have to decide is exactly who are the people who are doing this. And I don't mean to identify them individually as much as what is their motivation, and more importantly, are they our Molech or are they our enemy? Now, Yitzhak Rabin was able to define the question of a Molech when he said, you do not negotiate, you do not negotiate with your friends, you negotiate with your enemies. But implied in that was that you negotiate with your enemies when there's a possibility of compromise. And one of the theological elements to the state of Israel's response to the acts, the terrorist acts against it, was, do we treat these people like Amalek, in which case they must be destroyed, or do we treat them as just anti-Semitism, in which case there are enemies and they can be dealt with? The best examples of this is Egypt. One would think that if there was going to be an implacable enemy, it would be Egypt. After all, if we accept the text, they enslaved us for 400 years. They killed our boys. They enslaved us. They deserved the 10 plagues that they got. And yet, Egypt has never been considered a Molech. Israel, both as a biblical kingdom and as a modern kingdom, has had interesting, inconsistent relations with Egypt. But on the whole, comparatively, one would have to say that Egypt has been more of a neutral friend than an enemy, especially over the last 30 years. But then you have the concept of Amalek, the most extreme example of Amalek are the Nazis. And one could include Hamas in that as well. And so you don't negotiate with them. So one of the things that we as a Jewish community have to figure out is, what are we doing and who are these people who are committing anti-Semitic acts? Once we figure that out, or once we come to a conclusion, then there's a direction that we can take. We can either seek communication with them, and we can seek to try to meet them in the middle, or try to seek some type of dialogue to at least bring them out from where they are into something more akin to tolerance, or we have to go after them. And that's not an easy thing to do. It's not an easy thing to decide. And arguably, it's going to be one of the issues that we deal with as a Jewish community as a priority over the next several years. Are there questions or comments? I think we're ready for Kiddush.
Rise and return to page 252. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Elohim melech haolam asher kishanu mitzvotav v'natzavanu v'shabbat kovto v'yahado v'ritzon yiranu tzigano v'maseh v'reishit hibu yom tehila nemikrai kodesh zecher l'tzion mitzrayim kibanu Iltanu kirashta B'kolim V'shar Sheka V'yam Ikatani Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashem. We remain standing. We turn to page 272. Aleinu. Aleinu l'shameach la'olo. To the Torah, Adonai Yimlo Leolam,
This week, we remember the Yortzites of Bruce Ammerman, Estelle Veeder, Jerry Berensweig, Larry Berman, Nathan Berman, Carolyn Cohen, Sheldon Davis, Francis Newman Duber, Adeline Ginsberg, Joel Hamburger, Sidel Hammer, Rosalind Hoppenfeld, Shirley Casimir, Harold Mormon, Lee Morgenstein, Max Lispell, Sylvia Rock McCormick, Jerry Sack, Martin Underlider, Theodore Valenstein, and Dorothy Zankel, who we mourn with the family over the recent passing of Myron Leonard Linger. Will all those who wish please recite the mourner's cottage with me on page 276. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah.
Amen.
Vilma ivra irte v'yomif palpute. V'vayechom v'yomechom u'faye d'kol beit Yisrael. Bagala v'zman pariv v'imru amen.
Amen.
Yehei shemei Rabbah v'barach v'olam v'omei u'mayam. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kutsha rifu. Le'elam yimfol nirchata v'shirata v'shpefata v'nechemata v'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba Min Shemayim וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמרו אמן.
Amen.
יעשה שלום במרומה ויעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל אמרו אמן. Can you see that? We're doing announcements. Okay. See if you recognize.
Literally, yeah, that's what
You should have received your holiday packet in the mail. If you did not receive it, you can find all the information and forms on the High Holiday page on our website. Sunday, September 1st, the Jewish community is going to Nationals Park at 1:35 p.m. Gather your friends and family for a great afternoon of baseball as the Nationals lose to the Cubs. There are a limited number of jerseys given out. See the Garrett Warren links to purchase tickets, but come and join us on Friday, September 6th in the Snow Family Courtyard for our back to school barbecue. Early bird pricing is available, but only until September 2nd. Or bring a prospective family and it will be free. Join Sisterhood for their annual fall membership brunch on Sunday, September 29th from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m. You don't have to go to the Nationals game to the brunch. And don't forget to order your honey to benefit CVT Sisterhood, but do it by September 12th, 2024 to have it arrive by the holidays. We are almost done, I promise you. Have you voted yet? Tell everyone why we simply live best by voting for B'nai Tzedek. There's a new category this year, and the voice on doing announcements by the rabbi. You can vote for me and nominate it in different categories. Okay, and join me with a variety of the adult education offerings. Starting this fall, I promise I won't be singing them. And that's it. Yeah.
All right. We'll conclude our service with Yigdal on page 278. Yigdal Elohim Hai V'yishtaach Yitzhak Yinektem Metziuto Echad Minyamin Tegihuto Nelam V'gam Mitzvot Le'achduto Eino B'mutzago V'yeino Lo Na'aro Penai Kedushato Hakol Lefon Damar Asher Nivra Rishon Ben Reshit Reshito Ino Odolam V'Odo Tzar Yorek Dubato Marfuto Shefan Nebuato Netzado Elan Shisegulato V'Tifarto Come Israel, Moshe, Nabi Umabi, Tetemunato, Koratan Hatam, Leamovel, Hayad Biode Manfeto, Lodafanifael, Loyamidato, Leolami, Zulato, so Fabio de Asitaredu, Familis of Tavar, Vicamato. Melis Castel, mi fado, lo tende la charam, pelishado, ishlach miketzabi, meshikenu, ito mechakeke, tishuato, beti Yichael, Rochasto, Baruch Deum, Shemilato, Turn to your neighbor in front.